Miss A-Star Reads, and it's time for a Spring-Into-Reading-Athon update. So I am going to hopefully do weekly vlogs for Spring-Into-Reading-Athon, and we'll see how well I stay on top of that, because just filming and vlogging in general has been a little bit tricky for me in the last several months. And I'm hoping to get back into a bit of a groove this month. And I'm really hoping to actively put in some energy into Spring-Into-Reading-Athon because I'm excited about it. And I'm actually really excited about spring starting. So I want to do some spring type activities. I want to enjoy my reads this month, but I also have some reads I have to get to. And I have a bit of a time crunch, so that's gonna be fun. So we'll see how that goes along with trying to get as many bingos as I possibly can. And I am doubling up and tripling up for Spring-Into-Reading-Athon for my bingo board. And if you wanna know more about this particular bingo board and this readathon that I'm currently doing, I will link the announcement video up here, so go check it out. And I will also link my co-hosts in the description down below. I've got Melanie, who's the creator of Spring-Into-Reading-Athon, and Paige, who's my other co-host. I'm very excited to be doing this with them because they're two wonderful, wonderful people. And today I'm gonna be kicking it off with kickoff sprints at 10 a.m. my time. So it's currently almost 9 a.m., so I got about an hour. And I wanted to give you an idea of my game plan at the moment for where I'm starting out. So I am starting out with a book that I'm currently reading, and I'm not quite halfway through. So Melanie had said, as long as you're not halfway through the book yet, although I don't know if she's that picky, but you know, as long as you're under halfway through, it'll count for the readathon. And so, isn't this a gorgeous book? I love the color of this. It almost glows. I need to read Wild Dark Shore for my in-person book club for Tuesday, and it is Sunday. I have to get this done, and I'm not quite halfway. So it's essential that I get onto this because I am kind of very close. And I have decided that today I'm going to set my timer and read for 6 hours. So today I need to read for 6 hours. And I think that I'm going to set a challenge for myself this week because my reading in recent times has been a little sporadic. And so this week, at least during the weekday, I have to read for at least, gosh, it's really hard for me to get reading done during the weekdays, but at least an hour and a half of physical reading each day. And that's not my audiobooks because I listen to audiobooks every day on my drives at work, but that's physical reading. So that doesn't seem like a lot of time, an hour and a half a day, but it is when you get home and you're exhausted and you don't have much energy for anything else. And I'm hoping that I'll be able to do a little bit of reading in the morning to kind of start my day out strongly. We'll see. I go to the gym in the morning, so we'll just see what ends up happening. But my goal is an hour and a half a day during the weekdays, and then come the weekend again, next weekend, I'll set that timer to a larger amount. So what does this book count for? I'm counting it for 2 prompts. I'm counting it for refresh your TBR, which is to buy a new book for your TBR. This isn't a book I planned on buying. We picked it for our book club discussion, and it was so hard to get a hold of, you know, through my library and other apps that I was like, you know what, I'm just going to get the physical book. And I went and bought it, and I'm happy to add it to my TBR, but it wasn't one that I was planning on adding anytime soon. And so I'm counting this as refresh your TBR because it's not one that I pulled off my shelves, and I needed it specifically for my book club, but like it wasn't originally planned. I'm also counting it for spring fashion, so it'll be this one and this one, because I think this is an incredible cover. And the prompt for that one is to read a book with a beautiful cover. And this cover is just stunning. I just think it's so, so pretty. And I think it works perfectly for that prompt. So I'm excited about this. It's set on a little island near Australia, and it's about this man, Dominic Salt, and his 3 children. He's got 2 teenagers and 1 9-year-old. And they're the caretakers of the lighthouse on this island. But this island is also known for being a research center and a place where they have a seed bank with tons and tons of seed that are extremely rare. Some are extinct plants that they're saving for future times when people mess up the planet and they need to try and save it. And because of climate change and all the things that are happening within the planet, the sea is rising very rapidly and it's quickly taking over this island. So they are all going to have to evacuate, and the scientists are already gone. And now just this little family left on this island, and they're trying to finish up taking care of the seed vaults so that everything can get transported off the island, and they will be leaving in 7 weeks or something along those lines. So That's all well and good, but you can tell that there's something going on with this family. There's some mystery or secret or something that has happened, and it's exacerbated when this woman is found washed up after this big storm. She's alive. Surprisingly, she's alive, considering they're in the Antarctic waters and it's extremely cold. And they save her, and she has some mystery she's bringing to this little island, and they have mysteries that they're trying to keep from her. And both sides don't trust each other, and they're trying to keep, well, I should say, both of the adults don't trust each other, and they're trying to keep the truths, whatever those truths are, from each other. And you can tell that it's going to be a sad story. The writing is stunning. I just think the writing is beautiful. It's very biology forward, which I love because I got my degree in biology, and these kids are incredibly strong, but have a lot going on. There's been a lot of things that have happened within this family that you're slowly uncovering. Was this place, this island where they have grown so much and learned so much and become so strong, actually a good thing for them because of different things that have happened? So we're learning a lot about these characters, but kind of slowly, because it's a mystery. There's a mystery. What happened? What is the family trying to hide? And what exactly is this woman that was washed up on shore? What exactly is she doing there? So I'm just loving the author's writing style. Absolutely loving it. It's beautiful. It's quote worthy. And the imagery of this is just, it's breathtaking. It's breathtaking is what it is, because you have all this nature and all these amazing creatures on this island, and the descriptions are just so vivid. And I'm having to read it quickly, but I also want to make sure I'm enjoying it. So I am enjoying it, and I'm pulled in and intrigued for the story itself, as well as all the incredible writing. So loving this, gonna be continuing on with this today, hopefully finishing it today. I know that seems like a tall order for me, not for other people, but for me. But I do need to get this done by Tuesday, because then I have to read, I have to read A Close and Common Orbit by Becky Chambers by next Saturday, because we have the live show. For Bookstar read-alongs. So this is going to count for 3 prompts, but I'll go over those as I get to this book. Once I start this book, I'll come in and do a check-in and tell you what it'll count for. But yeah, so far, this counts for a new book on my shelves, or a refresh my TBR, and a beautiful cover. Okay, so a couple other spring challenges. For one, I have a Finch, and if you don't know what Finch is, it's this app where you can basically do habit tracking, but you have this cute little Finch, kind of like a Tamagotchi, where well, it's not like a Tamagotchi, because with Tamagotchis, you have to make sure it doesn't die. Your Finch doesn't ever try to die. Although I am doing a water app where you drink water to feed these plants, and my poor plant comes close to death a lot because I'm not drinking enough water. But my Finch just started this spring cleaning challenge for the month of March, and the first prompt was to open your windows to let fresh air into the house. Now, I did that in my bedroom. I opened the windows to let air circulate, but it is way too cold outside right now to do that in the big house. So maybe later on, if it warms up a little bit, we'll do that, but that might be a challenge for another day for the main house. Also, I joined Stride Kick. I think I joined it a long time ago. Maybe Shell had me join it. I don't remember, but it's this walking app that you can do all these different challenges to keep you walking. And the 2 challenges I joined for the month of March, one is the book club, because I'm already reading Project Hail Mary. So perfect, I'm just gonna continue reading that one, listening to it on audiobook. And for that challenge, you need to get 620 minutes in the month of physical activity. So I think that's like about 20 minutes a day of physical activity, which I really need to be pushing myself for the physical activity on a daily basis, because some days I get a lot more than others, and I need to just like try and be a little more consistent. And then 6,000 steps a day, which is easy, super easy on work days, not so easy on home days. So I am happy for this little bit of a challenge. And then the other one is this virtual race, and it just looks kind of cute, and I want to check it out and see what it's all about. So I've never done any of these challenges before, so I'm doing these challenges this month, and I'm excited about, hopefully getting excited about moving a little bit more and getting more steps in, and just being a little more active. Because like I said, some days I'm really good at it, and I go to the gym and I do weights and stuff like that. Not every day, but I try to do it a few times a week. I just want to be getting more physical activity in on a daily basis. That's one of my current goals, is just to be more active daily. So we'll see how it goes, especially today, considering I have 6 hours of reading to do. Physical reading. I don't know when I'm going to get physically active, but I got to squeeze it in at some point. I am excited to be here to be kicking off Spring-Into-Reading-Athon and get started doing some reading with everyone.
Morning, Sal. Good morning. Hi, Kylie. Let's see. Hi, Lola. How are you doing? Good morning. Hello, Christina.
Ooh, oh, there's 2 eagles outside right now. There they are, just sitting out on the eagle tree, hanging out, doing their thing.
Look at that baby.
Okay, so after a day of sprinting, I sprinted for a long time. I sprinted for like 5 hours. And mind you, I wasn't reading that whole time. But I did get quite a few sprints in. And spending the rest of the evening reading because I just felt like I really needed to get Wild Dark Shore finished. I ended up almost completely finishing my 6 hours. It's like 8:15 right now, and I have 35 minutes left, and I'll definitely be able to get that in. I will be starting Closed and Common Orbit for that. So I do want to tell you about what prompts that works for, but first I want to give you my review of Wild Dark Shore by Charlotte McConaughey. And I loved this. I'm giving it 5 stars. It was devastating and beautiful, and everything about the writing was wonderful, and the character development was heartbreaking, but also stunning, and exactly what I enjoy in found family relationships that have growth that they need to go through, and you get to see the growth through the story. It was so well done. Very excited to read from this author again, and I'm so happy that I got a chance to read this. I'm looking forward to talking to my friends about it on Tuesday, and we're going to a place that serves like cake and stuff like that because my birthday was last week. Yeah, I think it was last week. Yeah, it was last week. Time just feels like it was a while ago. But yeah, so we're gonna go celebrate my birthday and talk about this book, and I'm just so excited. I know that at least one of them said they're already really enjoying the book, and so I'm pretty sure it's going to be a rave success from everybody, and it definitely was one for me. So I finished Wild Dark Shore by Charlotte McConaughey, and for this I'm completing Refresher TBR and Spring Fashion right there. So I have these really cute, I want to get some other like spring stickers, but I feel like these ones that Mom bought are pretty cute and spring-ish, you know, because there's a lot of rain in the spring. At least there's always rain here. So I think I'm going to use these to cover these little spots. Okay, so I've completed 2 of them. Refresher TBR and Spring Fashion. Clearly, I don't have anything close to a bingo. But for Closed and Common Orbit, which is my next read, and this is a continuation in the Wayfarer series, it's going to work for Let It Shine, which is read a cozy book or a book you think will make you happy. And so that's this one right here, Let It Shine. And Becky Chamber always has very cozy sci-fi. And these are stories that have a lot of depth to them, but they usually just kind of feel very cozy. Not always happy, but you know, there's usually a bit of happiness at some point in them. So I think this is working more for the cozy, because I would consider most of her books, at least in this series and The Monk and the Robot, to be cozy sci-fi. The second thing it works for is Spring Forward. This one right here, which I'm pretty sure is to read the next book in a series. Yes, so this is the second book in the Wayfarer series, so that's the next book in a series. And then finally, I'm using it for Women's March, which is right here. I don't want to spoil anything, but our main character is artificial intelligence, a robot, and she identifies as female. And she is a strong character because we know her from the previous book and we know what her journey was, and I would consider her a strong female protagonist, especially because in this one it looks like she'll be figuring a lot of things out. Being brave and taking chances. So I think that works really well for Women's March. At least it'll give me 3 spots filled with this one book. So that's pretty good. So I don't know how much I'll be able to tell you about this one because I don't really want to spoil the first book for you, but I'll try and explain as I'm reading it as much as I can for you. Okay, so final update for my stride kick. I got my 6,000 steps in, 22 minutes of activity, which was the goal for each day. I made it 2.3 kilometers for my little maze. And I already did the first thing I needed to do for the spring cleaning first thing this morning by opening up my windows in my room and airing out my bedroom. So I'm on track. I'm on track with my little challenges for March, my spring challenges. So now I'm going to start my final 35 minutes and read A Closed and Common Orbit until it's time to go to bed. You know, when your windows are fogged, I can't film you.
Yeah, I know.
So I have this succulent, and this is the first time it has ever bloomed. And this is what it looks like, this little flower. Woohoo! Okay, so it's Monday, and I put an hour and 30 minutes on my timer for A Closed and Common Orbit for today. That's how far I got last night. So not very far, but at least I made a little bit of progress. And I didn't have any time to read this morning, but for my spring cleaning for my Finch, we did end up cleaning all the door handles and the light switches because that was the next day's spring cleaning activity. So we did that. We ran around cleaning down all the door handles and stuff like that. So I was able to check that off and felt productive first thing in the morning. So that was great. And now I'm heading to work. So we'll see how today goes. I don't know if I'll have time during lunch to read a little bit of this, but I'm going to bring it with me. And tonight I'm meeting everybody at Silent Reading Night at our favorite bookshop. So I'll be there late because I don't get off of work till 6, but hopefully I'll get a little bit of time to read with them. And, you know, it'll just be fun to do a little bit of family time at the bookstore.
For 1 second, the ship drifts a bit. The velocity value for blip A on the radar panel shows 0.086 meters per second. That tiny thrust set my ship moving about 8 centimeters per second. But I don't care about that. I care about the other ship. I watch the Petrovoscope. A bead of sweat separates from my forehead and floats away.
Hey, baby. Hey. Okay, so when I got to the book club tonight, I started my timer, but because it was in my purse and it got moved around and like bumped and stuff, it actually was 2 hours and 36 minutes, which you may have seen, or 2 hours and 30 minutes, 2 hours and 29 minutes. It had been hit forward 1 hour. And so I really only need to do another 36 minutes because I'm only doing an hour and a half a day. And so I did get some pretty decent reading during that time, but I'm only going to read for another 36 minutes because it's already 9 p.m. and I got to get up and go to the gym tomorrow. But silent reading was so wonderful. It was so much fun. And I actually got off work early today so I could get there right when the silent reading started because it goes for an hour. And it was just so much fun. It was just great to all of us to spend a little bit of time together. Afterwards, we did a little bit of shopping too because we love shopping at Village Books. They not only have the bookstore, but they have a stationery store that's connected, but they've also got like a whole bunch of fun knickknacks and stuff. Those earrings I bought are hypoallergenic. And sometimes it's hard to find earrings that I really, really like that are hypoallergenic. Hypoallergenic. It's a hard word to say tonight. So I haven't told you anything about Closed in Common Orbit, partially because this is the second book in a series. But what I can tell you is that we have an AI who's just trying to understand what it's like to be human. Sidra, our main character, is working really hard to just get used to everything, and we're being taken along for the ride. And it's very, very dangerous if this AI is found out to be AI. But hopefully we don't get to that point, although I'm sure we will, because it's been pointed out multiple times how dangerous it is, how illegal it is to be an AI in a kit, in a human body. So I'm going to see how it goes as I move forward, but I'm not too far at this point, and we're really just discovering this place, this new home where this AI is living. And then we have another character named Pepper in here, and we're getting to know Pepper's background. Like, we're seeing Pepper as a child and the upbringing that she has had, and how that's shaped who she is today. And it's pretty extreme, so it's kind of shocking, but I'm really enjoying Pepper a lot. Pepper is a character I really, really like, so I'm happy to be seeing more of this character that we did get to know a teeny bit. We just met her briefly in the first book. As far as springtime enjoyment, it was a beautiful day, and I really enjoyed the sun and how lovely it was, which is good because it's going to be rainy for like the next week. So, I mean, like really rainy. So it was nice to be able to like get a little bit warmer weather and just have the sun out and just take pleasure in all of, you know, the spring feeling of it.
And I'm a pretty big man, so a miniature is even more miniature to me than it is to an average person like yourself. And I predicted that is going to be your downfall.
Fit check. I got this cute new sweater from Stitch Fix. Look at the arms. And don't mind my mirror. It needs to be dusted, washed. And I'm ready for Tuesday. Got my hour and a half on my little timer thing. I did finish my time last night, and we'll see how much reading I actually get done today at work. Probably not very much, but I have been actively listening to Project Hail Mary, and I'm just loving this reread. It's so good, and it's making me so excited for the movie coming out on March 20th. It's only 8:50 and I'm already falling asleep, like hard. I'm trying to read. I've done 45 minutes and I just can't keep my eyes open, so I may carry over my 40 minutes to tomorrow and see if I can read a little bit in the morning, because I know that I'm just not going to be able to read much longer tonight because my eyes aren't cooperating. They're not staying open. But yeah, it's not even 9 and I'm already just exhausted. Before I go to sleep, I wanted to flip this because after I finished Wild Dark Shore, I now have read 17 books this year. Woohoo! Okay, well, today flew by and I am exhausted, and I didn't really get a chance to come on or pop on or do any B-roll or anything. I just was tired today and busy, just really busy with work stuff. So I came home and I had 2 hours, but I read for 46 minutes, and no, I have 46 minutes remaining, and I'm exhausted and falling asleep. So I will try to read a little bit more before I fall asleep, but the chances are that I'll be carrying over time again. So it's a bit frustrating. Here's where I'm currently at. So I'm making progress, and I'm enjoying myself. This is definitely a slower paced story, and the focus of the story is not plot heavy. It's more about these experiences these two different people are, like, one of them's going through the experience now, and the other one is the experience they had growing up. But there's definitely parallels to the things that Sidra is going through now and the things that Pepper had to go through when she was younger. And that makes it interesting for sure. There's so much detail in this because it's really about the experience of Sidra, at least right now, trying to figure out how to try and be okay with herself. And then with Pepper, she got forced into this whole new situation as a child that she never understood, or she didn't understand, because of this event that happened. And it's a better situation, but, you know, it's change. Change is scary, change is hard. And both our characters have dealt with that in the way that, like, Sidra says, you know, you could never possibly understand. She's telling this to Pepper. And Pepper can't understand Sidra's exact experience for sure. You know, they're not the same. But there are a lot of similarities between the things that these two have had to go through. And so it's interesting to see how they're both coping, or at least like how Sidra's coping with things and then how Pepper had coped with things. And I am enjoying that conversation. It doesn't have a ton happening at the moment, which I could see that being hard to get into, but I'm enjoying it. I don't always need a ton of plot to my story. As long as I'm enjoying the characters and I'm interested in what's happening overall. And I am. So yeah, making progress. I'm currently on page 130, and I'm happy with that because I need to be done with this on Saturday. And I'm almost halfway, so I feel pretty darn good about that. Hopefully tomorrow I get a chance to do a little more filming or a little more something. If not, just know that the weekdays are hard for me. I don't get a lot accomplished outside of work on the weekdays because I'm usually just exhausted. And especially when it comes to the second half of the week, I'm usually pretty darn exhausted. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. It's been raining also a lot. Today was a really rainy day. And, you know, I don't get out and do as much when it's raining that much. Last night wasn't a good night for sleeping, but I did. And then this morning we went to the gym, and now I'm going to work, and I'm feeling motivated. Okay, good morning. I have my massager on, and taking a bit of a wellness day. Pretty worn down. I am exhausted too. I slept fine last night, but I've been having a hard time keeping my eyes open this morning. Keep going. And I didn't get any reading done because I came home from work and around 7 I started falling asleep. I didn't actually go to sleep at 7, but I started, like, I was sitting on the couch and I was just falling asleep. So now I have 3 hours and 21 minutes to read today to make up for my time, but I have time to do it. So I need to make a lot of progress because we are going to do Bridgerton tonight. Jordan and Shar are coming over so we can watch Bridgerton. Aside from that, I'm doing all right. I'm just really, really worn out, and, you know, it's that time of the month, and it's gotten a lot harder for me as I've gotten older. So just one of those things. As you get older, life sometimes gets more challenging at certain times of the month. So I'm taking it easy, trying to get as much rest as I can, trying to feel better. I've been having this cough that I can't get rid of either. So I'm just falling apart. Okay, so today has been a relaxing, quiet, calm day where I really haven't done all that much. And that's okay. I'm learning to give myself grace when it comes to days that I need to relax and be calm. But I did end up finishing my 3 hours and however many minutes it was on here, and I'm currently 2/3 of the way through A Closed and Common Orbit, so I will definitely get this done before the live show tomorrow. I don't know how much more I feel like reading tonight. I want to work on editing my Sunday sum up a little bit, and the cousins are coming over to watch Bridgerton tonight, so this may be as far as I get tonight, but then that means tomorrow I've just got 1/3 of the way to go to finish the book, and I think I can get that done before 5. I'm really, really ready to find out what happens next in Sophie's and Benedict's journey. Benedict has to atone for how that last episode ended, so we'll see how it goes going forward, but I'm so excited. This is my favorite girl dinner. Cottage cheese and Triscuits. My favorite snack that I use as dinner when I don't feel like making anything. Okay, we only got to watch 2 episodes because Shar had to go home, but boy, did I cry a lot. So we're going to have to watch those other 2 episodes at some point in the future. But I'm going to have to wait because Jordan won't let us watch them on our own.
Since, buddy.
Okay, I did it. It's about a little less than an hour before the live show for Close and Common Orbit, and I completed it. I finished it completely. I'm gonna hold off on my review as far as like my rating and stuff like that until after our live show, because I want to think about it a little bit. I want to talk to people about it and kind of figure out how I feel about it ultimately. And if you want to see all of our spoilery and non-spoilery, all our thoughts about A Closed and Common Orbit, I would recommend checking out our live show right here. I will link it so you can go see what we all had to say about this. And yeah, I'm looking forward to chatting with Paige and Danielle about this. I have a pretty good idea about what both of them feel about it, but it'll be interesting to talk about all the different parts of it separately and collectively hear what everybody else had to say about it as well. So I'm looking forward to our discussion. Now I can update this by changing it to 18 because I've finished 18 books. So let me grab my thing. Okay. There it is. Take off the 7. And now I have finished 18 books in the year of 2026. Okay, so that means I can check off A Closed and Common Orbit. And that worked for Let It Shine, Spring Forward, and Women's March. So I need to get my stickers and put them on here. Okay, so Let It Shine was a cozy book, and this was definitely a cozy book. Wasn't necessarily, well, I mean, there were moments that made me feel happy, but it was definitely more of a cozy book, even though it had a lot of sad subject matter. It also worked for Spring Forward, which is the next book in a series. So I can put a sticker there. And then finally, it also worked for Women's, where is it? Women's March. Because both Sidra and Pepper were very strong women. And actually, they were more than just Pepper and Sidra, I would say. But I think that they represented strength in women very well. Still not anywhere near. I have 3 more in this row, 3 more in this row. Yeah, nothing except so I'm making a little bit of progress, but I'm not making quick progress towards bingo yet. But I'm going to tell you about the next book I'm going to be reading, and we'll talk about what that's good for. Okay, so even when I thought I was done with my my time crunch books, it's not true. I'm not done with my time crunch books because I do need to read A Vow and Vengeance by Jacqueline Rodriguez before the 13th of March, because this was my January new release for Herkiad. So this beautiful book with these beautiful feathers on it, look at these. This is so pretty. This is my next read, and it's, you know, a little hefty, a little thick. Let's see how many pages it is. I think it looks like it's heftier than it actually is, because I'm looking at the font and it's not so huge. It's over 400 pages. So, you know, it's not going to be a tough read, I don't think, unless it depends on the subject matter and how technical it is. But I think it's going to be a great read. And I'm really excited about this one. This one works for Herkyed, obviously, for new release, and then it also works for a BIPOC author. But of course, my main focus right now is Spring-Into-Reading-Athon. And so for this one, it will work for 3 prompts. So the first one is New Beginnings, and New Beginnings is to read the first book in the series, and this is going to be the first book in a series. Well, it's a new release. It just came out in January, so I don't know when the next book is going to come out, but it is planned to be a series. And then the next prompt, it will work for, and I should be showing you this, right? So it'll work for New Beginnings, this one right here, which is nice because, you know, there's a sticker in this row. The next one it works for is New Life. This one right here. So if you think this one, New Life is a debut book. And this is Jacqueline Rodriguez's debut book. So that's perfect. And the last thing I think it'll work for is Aries, because this is to read a prompt that has a trait that is similar to what you'd see for an Aries. And that would be cool because look at that. I'd have this one done, this. I would only have to do spring break still, and then it would have Aries done. So once I get that book done, I'm almost done with the bingo except for the YA prompt. The first thing I'm looking up as traits of an Aries are energetic, courageous, and pioneering leaders who love to be number one. So I don't know about the love to be number one part, but our character, Rune Riker, has nothing left. Everything's been stolen from them, her family, her home, for her freedom, but she's done playing by their rules. There's this journey process in the immortal realms that people get pulled into, and they have to go on this journey against their will. And it's like a lottery or something like that. But Rune actually orchestrates so that she is pulled into this immortal realms journey on her own. It's pretty much like a death wish for a lot of people that get pulled into this journey, but she decides to go into it because she wants to try and find her family. And so she's pioneering, I think, and she's courageous, she's energetic. She has to go to this cutthroat college called The Forge, where she learns tarot card magic from the immortal druids. And then her magic ends up being this really rare, powerful magic, and people want to take advantage of her and use her, but she has to fight back and has to protect herself. And I feel like all of that works really, really well for what I've been reading for the Aries sign. So it says, known for their bold, impulsive, and competitive nature. They dive headfirst into challenges, which is she's doing. She's diving headfirst into it. She's passionate, honest. They can also be impatient, stubborn, and short-tempered. I feel like some of the boldness and the competitiveness and the courageousness really, I mean, obviously in this situation, she's had everything taken from her, so she didn't have much of a choice. But, you know, some people can just do nothing with that. She's decided that she's going to do something with her life, and she's going to try and find what she wants to find, which is her family, and she won't let anything stop her. So I think this is a perfect example of what this is telling me an Aries personality type is, and I'm hoping that I'm right. And if you're an Aries and you agree with what I've said, then let me know that this is a good choice. I'm gonna read it anyways, and I'm gonna use it for that prompt because I feel like it worked really well for what the synopsis said, at least. So that's my next book. It's gonna be a chunky one, but I'm really looking forward to it. And I don't know that I'm gonna actually do any reading of this tonight. Maybe I will, but I don't think so. I do wanna work on editing this vlog. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and end this vlog here and say good night to you. I hope you have a great time reading all of your Spring-Into-Reading-Athon books. I don't know what springy sort of thing I wanna do this week. I've kind of not done a great job in the last couple of days on my challenges, but I'm gonna pick those right back up and keep working on them in the days coming. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this. So I will check in with you tomorrow and let you know what my next new challenge is going to be, because I was using my little timer this week to try to make sure that I was reading a certain number of hours a day. I think I'm going to do something different for next week. So stay tuned so you can find out what that is. And if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe so you can see what happens next week for Spring-Into-Reading-Athon. What other kind of adventures am I going to get myself into? Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you later.